what you're here for. What's wrong with my plant? Presented by Carol and Harlos. She was here last year. No, it was in the spring.
No, but I know I was
You
here.
were here in the spring, I remember. Her bio is very short, and it would probably take me the half hour to tell you all the things that she's probably done. But Carol Ann is a retired award-winning math and science teacher, a master gardener, a garden writer and speaker, and a beekeeper, and that's where it ends. So if there, so welcome, and we're looking forward to your presentation, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Well, first of all, before we go to that, I would like the people who brought plants one at a time to share that with us. I think that would be wonderful.
This is a
Tell me what we have.
It's a new guinea and patience. Patient. Something going on with music. It's the
Yeah.
stuff. Oh,
Yes.
I'm not getting any more flowers, so I think.
You're not getting flowers because you have a fungus.
You know, that's what I'm.
Yeah, you know, my dad used to say, there's a fungus among us.
Yeah.
You heard that too, my father always said that. Anyway, you have fungus. Now, here's the thing about fungi. The problem with fungi is they produce spores, and the spores drop down into the soil. And even if she takes all the leaves, she could take the leaves off,
Yes.
because what happens is these little things burst open and the spores come out. So you have a choice about all this. You can clean up everything. I tell people that if it's just one plant, I would move the upper soil a couple inches, because the spores would be there, and dispose of it however you decide to do that. You can buy a fungicide. The problem with fungicides is that by the time you see it, it's mostly too late. You know, it's like if your roses get black spot, for example. You know, how many of you have had roses with black spot? You know what I'm talking about. I actually go out and I put gloves on, because otherwise I'm a disaster with the thorns, which are not, by the way, thorns, but that's another subject. And I take off all those leaves, and then I clean up everything. So that is sort of where you're at. It's a very odd summer. The temperature is high, and then we get these torrential rains, and we don't get enough drainage. So things are very susceptible. I can live with fungi. I'm just hoping that we don't get Japanese beetles. Anybody got any yet? You do. And what are they devouring?
My basil.
Your basil.
Yeah.
Really? Usually I
just
find
found
them
it
on
yesterday.
roses. I'm sorry?
I just found them yesterday.
Oh my God. And what are you doing about it?
I got them all off and I brought the basil inside.
And you what?
I brought the basil inside.
You brought the basil inside. Japanese beetles are, you know, I get them, I haven't gotten them yet, but every day I look, because I have a rose garden. And I'll tell you, in case this happens to you in the future, you take a can if you want, whatever is convenient for you, an empty can, and you squirt kitchen detergent in it, you put a water, and then you go out and you flick them right into it, and they die, and it's such a good feeling. And that's a fact. And you can go out in the morning.
Go ahead.
I just didn't know if you,
They can hear you. I'm holding this so they can hear you.
oh, you can't hear me
No,
without?
the people at home.
People online.
Oh, I'm
People at
sorry.
It's all right.
I understand what she's doing. Okay, and I flicked them in there, and don't laugh, but it's true. They're mating, and there's nothing more satisfying than getting two of them in there at the same time. And you know, I participate in open gardens, you know, but not every year. And I remember the very first year I did it, a lady saw a Japanese beetle on one of my roses, you know. She goes, oh my God, are you going to spray? I don't spray anything. I'm a beekeeper. I don't spray anything. So I said no, and I reached underneath and pulled out the can, and I went like this, and they fell in. That's what you do. I'm preparing you for the future. Got it?
Okay.
Okay. Who's next? And
Christmas cake is
where are you keeping this?
in my kitchen because I don't have good light.
I was just going to say, this creature needs lunch.
Yeah.
Doesn't this look sad?
Not to me.
Well, don't plant, Jamie.
It doesn't look so bad.
It's green.
Some of mine look
I
like
suppose
that.
I could repot it.
Yeah.
I'm not a plant person. That's why I'm here.
I understand. I didn't try to make you feel badly. This actually, see, that really needs repotting.
Yeah,
It's awfully, what do you think about the roots?
they're awfully
I
sparse.
like
Too compressed.
Yeah, they're quite dense. All right, and they're circling. So how in the world do you think this thing is going to get the water and nutrition? Not easily. And then it's not getting light. Now, can you put it outside?
Sure.
This is what I want you to do. You can use, all the books say that you should use a cactus mix with these. And that I never have, to be
Same
honest
here.
with you. I just use a general potting mix.
Okay.
And what I would do, I'm sorry,
No, that's okay.
I can clean up when I leave. So, actually, I was driving here and I said, oops, you forgot to bring newspaper, Carolyn. But anyway, this is what I would do.
Okay, I'm listening.
All right. You take a knife
Okay,
or whatever you have, cut the bottom off,
okay.
and then you're going to shave all around on the sides.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And if you can spread with your fingers a little bit, do so. Now, you want to put this in a little bit bigger pot, but not a big pot,
Okay.
because it's not good for the roots. And then you get that funny smell, which means the soil has gone bad. Okay? So, you're going to find yourself a pot that is about an inch, maybe inch and a half at the most, wider in diameter.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And then you've already, shaved a little shaving and everything I already told you.
Right.
And you'll put, and it should be the same depth
Okay.
because we're cutting this off.
Right.
Okay, so a lot of times people put things in pots which are way too big and they don't thrive. Okay?
Mhm.
And so you're going to put it in, you're going to have to put some soil, fresh soil
Sure.
around it
Sure.
and give it a good watering. Now, this is the fun part. We're coming on August. Right around the middle of August, I take all of these, the Christmas one, the Easter one. What's the other one? I've got to read. What's the other one? Easter, Christmas, and
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Thank you. I knew there was a third one because I got them all. And I take them and I stick them on my porch. Why? Because the the length of the days is starting to get shorter. And you put them out there and it will trigger wonderful things. Because I do this sometime in August when I think about it, put it on the porch or whatever.
Right.
Outside. So to experience that sun, that's important. And then in September, I still keep it out there in September. And in September, you know how the nights change and you say, oh, I feel that change in the air. It's a little chilly. But because you bring it back in the house and you will have a wonderful surprise. It will form buds.
Really?
And it will flower.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What color is it, by the way?
I believe it's white, last I remember.
I play ladies poker with 5 ladies. On a bad night, you lose $1. It's like that. We talk a lot.
Texas Hold'em?
I'm sorry?
Texas Hold'em?
Yes.
Fun.
So there was this one lady and she had one of these and it didn't have the flowers. And I said, she didn't have a situation where she could do what I just told you. So I took it home and I brought it back to her in the late September. Her name was Roa. Unfortunately, Roa has died. She was quite old and quite wonderful. I really loved her. And, so anyway, I took it to her house after I treated it. On the moment when the house, she got all these flower buds. And that's why I do this, because it brings such joy to
So when do I
people.
bring it back into the house?
And sometime in September, when you start saying, get a little cold
Getting
out
chilly?
there,
And
yeah.
then it'll be okay, and then do I have to put it by a window or anything?
Well, it'd be nice.
I know, but I don't have any.
Okay, what
My
about
house
fireflies?
faces a different way. And it doesn't really get sun, a
But
good
once
sunshine.
you bring it in,
Yeah.
it will form flower buds.
Okay,
So I would think it would probably burst into bloom for you.
okay.
I will give you my email and I want you to contact me and let me know because that would be a big kick to me.
Okay.
Okay?
We'll do that.
Because it's not sick.
No,
It's just,
it's just not healthy.
it's not sick though.
Right,
I mean, you know
right.
what I'm saying? Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
goody, there was somebody
You
else.
want to pass that one around, the first one, so people can see what?
Oh, of course. Thank you. Thank you so much. Why don't we just let the day go around? We'll start with you, if you want to see. There was a third person. I remember that. What do we have here?
I have this one.
Oh, yes. And
Yeah, I don't have any of these, so it really,
Good plant. So it's a different plant, and I just got that. and
I wouldn't know.
this is an orchid.
No, it's in with an
The
orchid.
color,
Yeah.
the
I
color.
don't know, I can't remember.
And do you know, I can't instantly tell you what everything is,
Okay.
from the leaves.
Right.
That's asking
I
a
think you
lot.
said
I
that.
took a
Right.
course, at Niagara Community College. And you know the one thing that really sticks in my mind? The professor said, watch out for leaves because they're foolish.
Oh.
Because plants are not classified by their leaves, they're classified by their flowers. So do we know what this is? Is this indoor or outdoor?
Indoor.
This is indoor. And are these from the same?
No,
I
they're
didn't
two
think
different
so.
plants.
I didn't think so. Okay. All right. So tell me, that's what I thought.
This is
Tell me about this one. Is this a vine?
No,
It's not. Okay. Tell me about the plant. Do you know what it is?
no, I don't.
Does it ever flower?
It does, and it's a red flower. It has a yellow. Stamen. So
Okay.
It's
And-
it's like a dish.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And where do you grow this?
It's in a window, and I've been starting to use a grow light. It's in a
Oh, you
summer-
have?
Yes.
Now, did this problem occur before the grow light or after?
Before.
That's what I thought. Okay. How long's it been in the pot?
I just got it as a gift.
Okay.
So I've had it since May.
Okay. And tell me about watering.
I water once a week,
Why do you water once a week?
because that's what I think I should do.
It's because it's an old wives' tale.
Some of the worst things that happen to plants is because plants are on a schedule. How would you like it if somebody said to you, well, maybe you would like it, I wouldn't, but somebody said to you, you are only allowed to eat and drink at a certain time. What would you say?
I'd kill him.
Yes, so would I. I mean, don't let my small size fool you. I have a gigantic appetite. I do. My friends don't even want to be friends with me anymore. And that's not true, but you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, because I'm one of those people. And so because my needs are such, I need to graze all day long, okay? So the problem with this is you have it on a schedule. When you have to decide whether or not to water your plants, you have to take your cue from the plants. So one plant might like to be watered approximately weekly, but another plant, not so much, right? So this is what you do. If you've got a medley of plants, put the plants together that have the same needs, and that'll make it easier for you, okay? Also, don't laugh. When I'm near somebody's plants, like, when you go to somebody's house and then they say, sit down, and they're going to go out to the kitchen and bring a beverage or whatever, chew. Well, I stick my finger in. I do. That's why my nails are very short. I'm not one of those ladies, with the nail. And then, so I can't help myself. I did this at my dentist's office. And my dentist was so taken. I said, when did you repot them? I go, oh, no. So my dentist actually took me downstairs after they were done. And he had all these pots down there. And he asked me, what do I do with this? What do I do with this? And I got a bill for my teeth. I am not a professional. I'm an educated volunteer. I mean, that's the truth. He really did. So all I can say to you, since I don't really know what these are,
I
okay?
do know what that is, Karen. What is that? That's mom's plant.
It's Mom's plant.
Yeah.
That's Mom's plant. That's it.
It's actually 42 years old.
But you know what? Oh, nuts. It's not on my phone. It's on my iPad. Here's what you should do. You have online access. You have a cell phone. Here's an app. You put it on your phone. Now, it cannot always tell records. I'll picture this.
Garden.
Do you have picture this?
No, I have the other one. What's garden?
That picture this is better. though.
Okay, garden. That's his.
The picture this is better. And sometimes you can tell because if you use picture this, it'll come up with the name, and then it'll have the picture that they're showing you, and it'll have your picture. And sometimes you go, that's not right. I mean, you have to bring something to it too. But I think it would be helpful. I can't help you as much as I want to.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But here's my thing. I have a thing about soil. Okay? And one of my talks is called on soil. It's called Let's Get Dirty. It's very popular for some reason. I think they're all very disappointed when they come up with soil. But, you got to get a catchy title to get people in the room. So there's something going on here. This does not look like a disease, though. It looks like it's a watering issue. It's either too much or too little.
Oh, that's how do you decide what's too much?
Well,
or too
this
little?
is what, first of all, it would be helpful if you knew what you had. That's the one thing. The other thing is, I'm not joking when I say stick your finger in the pot, okay? If you have to, oh, what you got? Picture this?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Let's do this. No, you take this, make a picture of
Well,
this.
Schulberg, that's what it is. But the
Is that the
plant
plan?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
Third,
that,
yeah.
please?
Yeah,
Anthurium.
and third.
Oh,
Hey.
I know Anthurium, yes. Anthurium does not like to be overwatered.
Right.
Yeah, it's
I
an
know green,
Anthurium.
yellow.
They got, it's actually what's called a spade, and it's round and has this thing in the middle, okay? And they do not like to be overwatered. So you gotta get to know your plant, stick your finger in the pot. When all else fails, you carefully take everything out of the pot, without disturbing, and you take a good look and see if the roots are healthy, like we were looking here. I mean, these are the things, you're sort of playing doctor. Okay? Oh, that was great. Thank you very much. Yes.
I just want to say I have an anthurium and I've had it for years and it blooms once a year. And-
Yes.
And what I give it is 1 ice cube once a week.
Oh, the subject of ice cubes. How often do you do that?
Just once a week, maybe in the summer, twice a
Because
week, but
it
it's
needs very
little.
So,
I
wonderful.
have those.
So that was wonderful.
Yeah.
I
It's growing
put it
very
in a
well with
pot. The last time, not here, but I went back approximately a week ago to another group. The subject of watering orchids came up. And there is a company that has people put, what is it, 3 ice cubes every minute away. And I said to the group, well, I don't do that. I said, it's what God gave me, a brain, so I don't, but anyway. So I said, well, that's kind of a marketing ploy, which it is, because it gets more people to buy orchids. But there was a woman there, and she said, she was so spunky, I got a kick out of her. She said, well, I have this orchid, and I give it 3 ice cubes a week, and it's been flowering every year for 3 years. So I said to her, pay no attention to anything I say. Well, that's the truth, because they're plants, okay? So what you got?
So this one is the orchid, so I do the quarter cup because it's.
Oh, you do a
scripture.
quarter cup.
Yeah.
And is that what it told you to do?
Yeah.
And is it working?
I think so, because I have this new little, I think
Oh,
this is a new bud.
Oh, you got this, we'll have to pass phones around for crying out loud. Here, you've got what we like to say, it's in spite. Those are going to give you flowers. Oh, isn't that a thrill?
It is.
The first orchid, I'm going to give you your age back. The first orchid I ever had was a slipper orchid. And I remember when it went into bloom, I was like a child. My husband, this is true, my husband was sound asleep. I woke him up at 6:45 in the morning because I was so excited. That was when I first started to grow orchids. Oops, yeah, that's it. Drive you crazy. And I said too. And he goes, he's sound asleep, and I woke him up. I go, Jim. And he sits up and he goes, what? And I said, like my slipper orchid is kind of a blossom. And he goes, oh, that's wonderful, dear. And he rolled over and he went back to sleep. But it is a cat. Right?
So I didn't know what you do and look at.
Okay, let that alone. Oh, this is one. Oh, that part. You cut it back. When an orchid is done blooming, I don't know if you had an orchid, but where it was blooming, it turns brown because it's done blooming. And you don't cut the whole stalk off. You cut back to like the bumps there, like a node. Yeah. You cut back to just above it. And when things are good, you get more flowers. It's really a gift. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? Because I cater my talks to the people I have. So if we never do this, I don't care.
Saw you before.
Oh, I love these.
I know you do. Do I need a bigger pot because
Oh, we talked about.
but does this look like the roots go down?
Nice and
into-
moist. This looks very happy. Why would you do anything?
No, I don't know if the roots go down into it. Do I need a bigger pot?
Don't know. It's a shame we don't. You're gonna be my.
Yeah, I'll do it.
You're good.
We don't want it all
Now,
over the floor.
first of all, this one isn't growing even into the side of the pot. So very often when you have a lot of roots,
Yeah.
they cling to the pot. And then we don't lift it out. We water it. I'm serious. We water maybe the night before to wait
Yeah,
about
right.
so things loosen
Yeah.
up. And then we take a knife. So right away, I don't even think it needs it. You're wonderful. Thank you. This isn't bad at all. Few little circling roots. I've been leaving alone for a while.
Nothing. Got a bigger pot.
Not yet. If you really feel that, look at that. I love that. Look at that. See, they form little supports.
I know.
Isn't that cool? No, it looks very nice and healthy. People go and they buy plants and then they bring them home and they don't do well. Did you notice that? I want you to think about that for a minute. When you buy a plant from a grower, that plant has had its needs attended to. They want to grow a healthy plant for you. Now, you can go and spend a little extra money at a grower, or you can go somewhere like Home Depot. I was trained as a master gardener, and I always felt there was a bit of snobbery about Home Depot because I find a lot of bargains there, to be very honest with you. If you know your plants, you're all right. But don't ask anybody there. Very seldom do you get a person who knows a darn thing about them. Although they're very sweet and they water. I watch them go around watering everything. So be very careful of that. But this is the problem. People buy a plant, it's healthy, right? It's been catered to. That's how they grew it. It got the right light, it got the right water, it got the right soil. Okay, it may even have been fed extra, maybe or maybe not. I never fertilized my plants, by the way, except for my orchids. Then somebody comes along and they buy it. And they take it home. And what do? A lot of times they don't. They don't mean to, but they do. Because the conditions in your home are not the same as the conditions where it was grown. So if you bring it home, don't take it out of the pot. Don't transplant it. Give it time to adjust to its new environment. This is nice. It's got a few. I'd leave this be. I wouldn't do this. I love these.
I do too.
I love these. I have one of these.
Yeah, but I know I've cut off 3 yellow leaves down there.
Well, I'll tell you, it's pretty moist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty moist.
Yeah.
But yellow leaves, we shed hair. Plants also shed leaves.
Okay.
And so sometimes,
Okay.
usually it's around the
It
edge.
is.
Yeah. That's just old.
Okay.
Because it grows from the mid.
Yeah.
So those are old leaves.
Yeah.
So you just go and you cut them off. I mean,
Okay.
I love this.
I love that.
This is one of my favorite
What's the name
things.
of that?
It's a type of philodendron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Some people call it a Swiss cheese plant.
Yeah.
But I think they're very cool. They really are, and they don't ask very much.
No.
I remember you. You must have been here before.
Right.
Okay, so it's happy. Don't mess around with it. You're gonna set it back.
All right.
And she brought up. Don't tell her. She brought up something. Thanks a lot. She brought up my Dallas store places. She brought up something very important. Yellow leaves do not necessarily mean the plant is in trouble. You've got to take a good look. Now, if all the leaves go yellow, you've got trouble. But old leaves, they die. You shed hair, plants shed leaves. Does that make sense? Yes.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna ask you. I have a hibiscus.
Sure,
Too
bring it.
Too big to bring, so I brought a picture.
I want to see, please. I'll get you over here, son.
It's about 10 years old. Got it several times. Bought it, in gardens.
I had 2.
Yeah.
Happens.
Got them. They were beautiful when I brought them. Within a month.
Yeah, put around it.
She said.
Yes, there's something going
No,
on
I'm
here.
one of those guys. Whatever.
First of all,
And those are the new leaves. It flowers all
Those,
the
do
time.
they need
But
sun?
as the buds die,
Oh,
the flowers die, then the leaves start turning yellow, they all drop, and then I
And-
get
This
green.
is- this
and
does
you got
not
your
get
green.
sun
Now,
when it
It's
gets
in that
loud.
transition right now.
what
Okay.
Yeah.
kind of pot is it in? And have you ever
In my
transplanted?
apartment.
Several times.
Several times.
Over the years.
And why have you
All over my
transplanted?
apartment.
Yeah.
No, but if you see, thank you, okay, thank you.
But I
Here we go, again. Okay? I love listening to what people say, because it's really very interesting to me. She said, she's this black, she said it flowers, but she said it gets very yellow on the outside. So I asked her, have you transplanted this? She said, I've transplanted it several times over the years. So I'm going to ask her a question. Why did you transplant it?
It outgrew its pot. It's
Because
almost
it
as
what?
tall as I am.
I understand that, but you're looking at the part above the soil and you're ignoring the part below the soil. And I have a gut feeling that you are transplanting when it doesn't need it.
Okay.
Okay? Now here is something you don't like how big it gets. Okay, so.
I do like them.
Yeah, I understand that totally because our home, the windows of our home are not such that I grow plants in them. They come up because I have grow lights in the basement. I call them visitors because they get to a point. I bring them up, we enjoy them. If there's something that produces flowers, that's great. But then I take them back, I take them back downstairs, okay? If you have a plant that you don't want to get bigger, and you say, oh my God, I took it out of the pot, it's all root bound and stuff like that, and you like it, but you don't want a monster plant, okay? What do? You trim, you take it out of the pot, you trim the roots at the bottom with a knife, very satisfying work. And you do the same thing all the way around the plant. And then you repot it with fresh soil, same size pot. And that'll keep you from getting a monster plant. So I understand why you did this, but you didn't want it to be huge. And so that's what you do. You've all heard of bonsai?
Yes.
Okay, what do people do with, how do they produce bonsai? They do two things. They prune the top, but what's the other thing they prune? The roots. See where you're going with this?
Now, you had mentioned something about chlorination. You thought there was a problem with chlorine.
I'm sorry.
You had mentioned with the yellow leaf, you thought there was a problem with chlorination.
Very
You started to
well,
say something.
yellow leaves, not necessarily, it depends. If they're old leaves, don't worry about it.
How do you know?
Well, how do you know? Okay. Suppose you have a leaf in the middle, the new growth, and it turns yellow. It's not good. It's not an old leaf, it's a new leaf. That's why. So the yellow leaves tend to be on the periphery of the plant. And if the whole plant goes yellow, you know you've got troubles, right? But I'm going to tell you right now, more plants die in the home from too much water than from too little.
You got it.
It's with one
No, I
exception.
know that.
With one exception, my youngest daughter, I still pick on her about this. Somewhere in the 90s, my husband and I went to Australia for 3 weeks. And so her and Michael, my ex-son-in-law, but anyway, they were supposed to water the porch for me. So I remember coming home from that trip, and it was dark outside, and I could see water dripping from the hanging plants on the front porch. I said, isn't that nice? They remembered. And the next morning, I got up, and they were the deadest wet plants I've ever seen in my life. They said, oh, Mom and Dad are coming home. We better water the porch, yeah. And that daughter, she long since left him. But the point is, I still pick on her. She was just out visiting from Virginia, and I said, I'll never forgive you for killing all my porch plants. But anyway, but very seldom do plants really die because people don't water them. I would guarantee you most plants die because they get too much. And then they get root rot and you get that smell. Okay? That's not good. Sir.
My question is not the watering part. I generally don't water at all until they need.
That's
I'm
good.
okay there. But my problem is the shade and the sun.
Yeah.
Who needs what?
You have to find out about your individual plant. I mean, obviously, if you're growing a cactus plant, it's going to be in sun.
Yeah.
So that's why there are other sources. You go in and look it up. I mean, basically, that's what you're talking about here.
I'm still happy whether they're living or dying because of the plants themselves may be.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
They
But
die and it's getting more.
well, yeah, and you know,
What are you gonna do?
we can all do that. But if you really love plants, it's a big thrill to watch them thrive and grow. So you can wake up your poor husband like I did.
Well,
I'll never forget that.
Some of my plants I've had for over 20 years.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And
I
I've
do
been lucky
too.
with them, but others,
That's because you have to get to know your plants.
okay.
You know, and I've heard a lot of wonderful speakers, but there's one, his name is Colster Burrell. And in the plant world, you know, he's one of those big names, you know. And I'll never forget, because we used to have, about 25 years ago, we used to have garden conferences here in Buffalo every year. And he came and he said, I don't feel I've ever got to know a plant until I've killed it. And you know, I don't even remember what else he said.
Yeah.
You know, but I remember him saying that. But if a plant dies, and you really love plants, you want to know why. So you learn. You learn. I mean, I'm a big Thomas Jefferson freak for some reason. And so I read everything I can about Thomas Jefferson, especially his gardens. You know, he was famous for that. And he wrote, although I be an old man, I am a young gardener. And I believe that too. And he wrote that when he was in his early 80s. So, I mean, you get the idea. The more you learn, the dumber you think you are. You know what I'm saying? Your ego is not, the more I learn, the stupider I'm convinced I am. I'm not being funny here. This is the truth, because you become aware of your own ignorance. Does that make sense to you? And I cannot solve all your plant problems. What it can do for you is help you have an awareness. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You have a
Can I
question?
just say one more follow-up on the watering?
Sure.
There are some of the plant mixes now, they have regular plant mix, and now they're advertising one that says, this helps you prevent from over or under watering. It's the same company. It's a different coloration.
I tend not to do things like that. You're that expert on that part. Also, I don't fertilize. I used to, but I don't anymore. I don't fertilize my house plants. And that happened because I had knee replacement surgery, and I couldn't get at the time. That was before Amazon, you know, to go to the world. But now I just go to Amazon for everything. But you know, I couldn't get out to take care of that. So I discovered that my plants really didn't need fertilizer. The only thing I fertilize is my orchids, because of the nature of the growth of orchids, the ones that don't grow in soil. And I thought about this for a while. Why are my plants doing so well? Because if the soil is good, that should be enough. They don't need enormous amounts of nutrients. They need minute amount of nutrients. And so when you mix up the stuff and you pour it on, where does most of it go? At the bottom of the pot, for crying out loud. They don't need that. If the soil is right, they must be getting it from the soil, because I don't fertilize them. I really don't. I used to, gave it up, you know, and I thought, interesting. But if you think about it, that should be the case. The soil should be enough. Because it's not like they're that hungry, you know what I mean? Yes.
Is there one brand of potting soil or potted plants?
Yeah, and I can't think of the name of it. I knew somebody was going to ask that.
Miracle-Gro's getting a bad rap.
I don't use Miracle-Gro. I think they've got a lot of people brainwashed. If you get giving that,
Yes.
okay. When you, yeah, give it to me. I have it in the basement and I buy it by the bag. And I was driving here and I was thinking, they're gonna ask that.
Where do you buy it?
I bought it from Amazon, but I originally bought it, no, wait a minute. I originally bought it at a local nursery that closed. They actually moved, is what they did. It was, you know, it was on Dodge Road and now they're out on Transit Road. So, in the town of Amherst. But if you email me, I'll run down to the basement and I'll tell you, because I knew somebody was gonna ask that. I can't think of it. I'm big on, Soma also for that, but there's, the mix I have now I really love.
And somebody had told me a while back to put mulch on top of the soil for my outdoor potted plants.
I
For the
never
water.
do.
No.
And the reason I don't is that I like the soil to dry out. You know, and if you put, like some people I know, they put moss on top, dried moss or whatever, you know, sphagnum moss, on top. But I like things to dry out and like to be able to stick my finger in the pot and check the soil. So I don't do that. I don't know particularly why one would do that. That would probably affect evaporation, but it would only be the evaporation at the surface. So I don't think it would affect much in the other side. Does that make sense? Anybody else, sir?
Couple of questions. First, you stick your finger in the pot. So what do you want to feel? Do you want to feel?
Well, I want to see how wet it is.
Yeah, but what do you? Is it supposed to be wet?
It depends on the plant. But if the plant, let's say your plant is looking good, and you stick your finger in the pot and it's really wet, aha, then I start to play detective. You know, to see, is it too wet? Yeah, that kind of thing. Okay? I mean, I am not kidding you. When I went to my dentist, I still go there, but they've moved now. You know, I literally, I stick my hand in the pot, and I felt all these roots, you know, and the soil was dry. I said, do you ever water here? But the plants are like, you know, and so, does that make sense? I mean,
Next question. Bent blossoms from lilacs. Do they need the color?
no. If you're going to prune your lilacs, you should prune them within 3 weeks after they finish flowering, because they've already set the buds for next year. And I get so busy because they always bloom in May that I forget to do that. And I get them. In fact, we have a lilac bush on the back corner of our house, which my husband planted. And it got monstrous and woody underneath. And I would sit on the ground and I would cut, you know, back. And finally I said, oh my God, this is unending. So I knew somebody with a chainsaw was there, and they went, brrr. I let down the whole darn thing. Oh, it's gorgeous. Because the roots are everything. It's very happy. And I get a compost every year, and it came like this. So speaking of plants, even outdoor plants benefit from a good pruning. But sometimes you got to know your plant when it flowers. I love roses, and I have a rose garden in the back of the house on one side. And I have one of the very first roses that I ever planted. It's a shrub rose, and it was about this tall. Very simple flower structure, you know, not with multiple leaves, but pretty pink. Well, it's always pretty, but the last few years I noticed from, I would say, up to about here, it's all woody. So I went out in late March before things start taking off, and I cut it down. I'm not kidding. It was a lot of work because it all that waste, you know. And I cut it down to about that tall. You should see it. It forced it out, and it's about this tall, and it's just covered with flowers. So, you know, we didn't do anything with outdoor plants, I know, so I thought I'd bring that up. Yes.
I have a clematis.
Oh, yeah.
And
He's not done yet.
oh,
I'm sorry,
I'm
sir.
sorry, I thought he was
He had
too.
more than one question. My apologies. You're next.
Talking about outdoor plants.
Yeah.
This is what I have in front of my house. Unfortunately, it gets covered. It's under a mound of snow all winter long. And I know I need to do something with it. I need to cover it somehow. But so this is one of the worst branches from the bottom. So what Do I need to cut for the rest of the summer now? Cut all this?
Don't, yeah, well, dead is dead, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I personally, if things are dead, the plant's not gonna miss them. Dead things we cut off.
Cut, and everything that's brown.
That's brown, yeah. Don't cut into the green though, because we're really much into the summer. And we don't want late sprouting because it won't overwinter sometimes. So anything that's dead is dead. So it won't feel it. And I'm not being funny when I say that, because the plant won't feel it. So it's not gonna miss it when things like this are up. Is the whole thing like this?
And this is the one of the worst. I mean, it's gray, it's brown throughout here, there.
Can you protect it over the winter?
Well, I'm gonna have to,
Yeah, I mean, it seems, because, I mean, down here, it's nice looking. It's just been cut, you know, this probably wind, looks more like wind damage or something. Like, is it windy there? Or,
No, it's
Open.
ice and snow.
oh, ice and snow, yeah. Yeah, but you can cut that back.
Water the roof and
Yeah, you know what I would also do? I would also do that in next spring if you could. I mean, then it's gonna look nicer in the summer. But dead, you can do anything you want to that isn't dead. You know, okay, I'm sorry, I apologize for now. Do you have another question?
Well, it's just because you are a beekeeper.
I am a beekeeper.
Can we talk about that?
We can talk about anything. I'm not doing this, you know. And ask me if I care. I don't. Because I'm serious, because we're having a conversation. And not person, you know how, did you ever go and hear somebody talk and they read it to you? I'm not one of those people. I can't, I like conversing. Okay, let you go.
That the honey is not pure, there's a lot of sugar in it, added sugar in it.
That's true.
Is that true?
Yeah, and
So
this
it's
is
not
what you do. If you buy honey, I give my honey away. I have 3 hives, and if people are my friends, my neighbors, my family, I give it away because I'm not interested in making money from it. But this is what you do to test it. Okay, you take a glass of water and you take a spoonful of whatever it is, and you drop it in there. If it's adulterated, you know, they've added something else like corn syrup or something like that, right? That will dissolve in the water. But if it's pure honey, and you know, put a teaspoon in a glass of water, it'll go, and it'll just go right through down to the bottom.
And it stays.
And it'll stay there.
It won't dissolve.
Nope. Pure honey doesn't dissolve in water very easily at all. Pure honey is more than sugar. When I take honey, okay, I'm going to make this brief. I'll come back and give you a talk on honeybees. I thought of my favorite things in the world. But when I take honey from the hives, I bought a centrifuge. Well, I didn't. I bought one that should crank. And I said, my husband, this will not do. So I got an electric one, and it does 4 frames at a time. Plug it in, push the button. That's the way to do it. Okay. So you cut the tops off. That's another subject, but an electric knife. Then you put it there, and it spins, and the honey comes out. Then you have a spigot. Okay, and you open the spigot, the honey will come out. But I have a strainer that like you know, like something you'd use in the kitchen. I hate to tell you this, but honey, when you get it on high, there's little bits of wax in it, and there's legs. Things happen, you know. And no, that's back to life. And you strain that out. But there's a difference between straining and filtering. Filtering is what some companies do. And it takes out all the pollen and all the good stuff that makes honey so good for you. Why do they do that? Because if you have pure honey, it will solidify after a while. And people think something's wrong with it. It's not. That is a sign you have good honey. So when you don't want it to be solidified, please don't put it in the microwave because that destroys the pollen and it destroys a lot of the good stuff. You take a can of hot water, you know, that you've heated up, and you set the jar in there and let it sit. You can stir it up and you'll see that it's dissolved. That is good honey. And I have a friend who has neuropathy in her feet, and she's a doubting Thomas for everything. But you know, that the challenges of aging make us try different things. And I cannot believe my friend Joyce actually asked me for a jar of honey because that honey is not filtered, right? It's only strained to get out those little pieces. And she said, I read somewhere, I don't know where she read it. She said, I read somewhere that, you know, true honey will help neuropathy. So that was only 2 weeks ago. So I said, call her up and say, how's it going, you know? But that is wonderful. My youngest daughter is an eye doctor in Virginia. And there's, every year when she comes up here, she takes something back from Western New York, you know. Well, about 3-4 years ago, she said, Mom, can I take some of your honey? Well, now she won't go and buy them anything. She always goes back with all these jars of honey for the Virginians down there, and they love it. So that's a good thing. Okay, did that answer you? You were next.
I have clematis. It's beautiful, nice purple flowers.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the year, should I be pruning that? Should I be cutting it down?
I never bother.
That's what I told my husband, and he insists I do.
No. What is this thing? Really think about this. About cutting things down.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nature, what does nature do?
Keeps going.
Like a field, let's say. What does it do? Things die down. And that's that. And there's no reason you have to. Is it, what is it? Is it Jacksonia? Is it the purple one?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's pretty. I
beautiful.
have that too.
Yeah.
And you know, I did an experiment with that because I have a trellis in the back and I have 2 of them. You know, they meet up at the top. So when I was first gardening, I was a little unsure about the pruning thing. And so I pruned one side in the autumn and the other side, I waited till spring and then cleaned it up, you know, because it gets really ratty looking.
Yes.
To see what the difference would be. No difference. They both grew. Matter of fact, if anything, I have to prune during the summer because they go nuts. I mean, just for aesthetics. Right. They go, you know. Right. But there's, what is this? It must have to do with generation because my mother, when I first got into gardening, every autumn she'd say, she lived in Florida about, we only lost my mother less than 2 years ago. She was 102.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, it was amazing. But she would always say to me, did you clean up your garden yet? And I couldn't make my mom understand because her generation, mine looks ready. Looks really, really ready. We also have a garden in the front, and I have a neighbor next door who's, I love her, but we don't talk about this. It's like religion, you know, you have your own, or politics, you have your own stuff. And she's, oh, there's a leaf there. Clean it up. What do? It looks like, ooh, it's the slob who lives there. In the middle of winter, you know, everything's all falling down. But that's good because it insulates.
Yes. Right. Yes.
Otherwise, you've got everything exposed. And she says, you have a green thumb. No, I don't have a green thumb. That doesn't exist. It's just that it kind of gets you know the plants. Think about it. That's why things come back because the roots are insulated, and you know, and then even if the other thing is when you expose everything, you get heaving of the soil, and then you know, then the roots get exposed, and then people say, they don't come back. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now you don't have any work to do in the spring. But the only trouble with that
Reborn.
philosophy, and I'll admit to this, is that in the spring, oh my God, it's almost overwhelming, isn't it? I mean, I don't know about you, but in the spring I go, oh my God, I'm never gonna get through all of this, but you know, you manage, it's your garden. Anybody else? You had a question?
No.
Chris? No. Okay, we're done, huh? Yeah. This group is fun. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
The soil should be,
Relatively, what are you growing?
well, I just potted this, African violet
Oh, yeah.
that was rooted.
Yeah.
And I thought it looked really good, but after a couple of days, it looks kind of like compact
What kind of soil do you use?
in soil.
It wasn't, did it have lots of roots? The leaf, this was a leaf cutting, I guess.
Yes, it was. I mean, it had like, I thought enough.
Did you press the soil around it? Maybe you pressed all the air out.
So
A
you
lot
want
of times people do that. You know, one of the things that is in healthy soil is oxygen in air, but it's really the oxygen. And sometimes people, I'm glad you said that, because that happens a lot. People, they press down on the soil, pressing all the air out. And then if they water, the soil immediately gets saturated, and there's no spaces for the water to go to. So sometimes things rot out from there. Now, I don't know what kind of a mix you used. They do have special mixes for African violet. Just a regular mix, yeah. That may be what happened. And there may be other things, so don't quote me. Anybody else?
Any good plant apps that?
I'm sorry. You know, I wear hearing aids, and I think that my right one isn't working today. Do you ever get that? Those of you wearing hearing aids? No. Nobody wears hearing aids but me?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, it started with my husband. I said, "You're going for a test." And we both got it. And also the children. Mother, you know how they
Yeah, we know that, yeah.
we all know. Okay. I did it to my mother too. I deserve it. Yes.
Are there any plant apps for the phone that you recommend other than the one that you talked about earlier?
No, not really. That one's the best because I have some insect apps too. And the thing about Picture This I like so very much, they'll even tell you if it looks healthy. No.
But
And I tend to look up individual plants so I know as much about them. You know, one of the things about house plants that people don't think too much about is that they're actually outdoor plants in other parts of the world. And then we bring them in our house, and then we ask them to grow. And then people will say things to me like, does it produce flowers? Well, yeah, how do you think it, reproduces in life? But I don't say that, I think it. But you're trying to imitate wherever it came from in your house, because these house plants come from all over the world. And almost every house plant you have is actually a flowering plant, but it's not easy for us to give them the conditions they need to flower. Yes.
Lately I've been using, I do a lot of research for my own benefit, but I check AI, see.
Yeah,
AI.
I do too, and I tested it.
It's not the same like if you Google something, you can find.
That is correct.
But AI will give you a more definitive, perfect answer.
I'm aware of that, because, I research, I'm going to research, I think, sometimes, and so I tested it out on things that I truly knew,
Yeah.
and I was impressed. But when you use artificial intelligence, like anything, you have to bring something to it. I belong, and perhaps you do too, I belong to the generation that grew up with encyclopedias. And right, and so when we were growing up and you didn't know something, you go, everybody, what was it, Funk and Wagnalls or something?
Yeah.
And you would go and you would look it up. So you can still do that, but the medium is a little different. That's really the difference. The biggest problem, I think, for people, and I'm a retired teacher, so I feel I can say this, is that we have to teach people critical thinking skills. To bring something to it, you can get something out. But sometimes somebody will put something out there, and it's like you go to certain websites and they have a cure for everything. They have a cure for neuropathy, don't listen to your doctor, or this is what happens in your gut. And you've seen all that if you do go online and you go, yeah, right, okay. You gotta have critical thinking skills. And if you don't know, how many of you do go online? I want to see. How many? Most of you. Okay, who does not go online? Anybody? You do not. Okay. Is this a nervousness thing, or you're not interested?
My husband, we just don't have it in the house.
You what?
I have a cell phone.
That's good. Well, then you can go online. You can go online with your cell phone, because I told you when I was getting my tire fixed yesterday, I bought 2 plants of light. Okay, but senior citizens very often that I deal with. You're a pretty intelligent group, and I'm not sucking up to you. It's the truth. But I do Mr. Gardner hotline, and what happens is I'm doing it from home. I love doing that, and I have this link with Cooperative Extension. So when phone calls are recorded, I can download them and call the people and help them, or if they have email, I can do the same. I was talking with a gentleman, some problem he had, and I said, if you could please send me some pictures, of the issue, I can help you better. And he said to me, I can't do that. He said, I'm 72 years old, and I'm not going to go on a computer and do that. And I said, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm 83, and I'm sitting here with my computer, my phone, and my iPad. So what he has to do is take specimens, wrap them in a particular fashion, and take them, best ways to take them, to Cooperative Extension in East Aurora. So it behooves all of us as older people to, kind of keep with it. I have a grandson, this is the truth, who's going to be 13. He is so smart. I was a math and science teacher. He took algebra in 6th grade this year, okay? All right, he's one of those. You should see him on a computer. Oh my God. He programs. And I had a problem with my iPad a couple of years ago. And I called Apple, and we couldn't solve it over the phone, so I had to go to the store, Apple store. And they solved it in 15 seconds, by the way. But my daughter said, the family was coming up, she says, you should wait for Joshua. I bet he could solve it for you. And this kid is going to be 13. It's different for you when you're older because you didn't grow up with it. But I remember when he was a baby, mommy was or daddy, whatever, was changing his diapers, and he was there with the phone playing a game. I mean, because they grew up with it. So I am delighted to have a group like you, because you're still learning. Don't quit. Don't be like that man I talked to on the phone, because you dinosaur yourself, and you don't want to do that. But I was at Roswell one time on skin checks, and it was early. I went to the gift shop to kill a few minutes. And So the woman who runs it is so nice. She's lovely. I said, how are you today? She said, I'm having trouble with my cell phone. She said, I've got to go to Verizon on my way home. And I said, oh. She says, yeah, you know what I need in my life? I said, what? She said, a 10-year-old.
That's right.
So you get the, I never forgot the. So anyway, I don't mean to digress. Our time is sort of up. You have a delightful, if there's anything else, you had a question or a comment?
Just a comment. Your grandson is 13. What you can give him though is wisdom.
Oh, I know, I'm
Takes
so
him
nice.
forever to get to. And my example is,
Yeah,
about 6 months ago, I befriended a couple downstairs from where I live. Now, I'm gonna be 70 next month. They're both 27. The three of us are great friends for one reason. If the three of us are together,
respect.
we have 3 70-year-olds, or we have 3 27-year-olds.
Yes.
The communication.
Oh, absolutely.
They both have master's degrees from Ohio State University in food nutrition. They've helped me so much, but because I have wisdom,
Oh, yeah.
they learn from me every day.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
I get very, very, very angry at people
For
who
example, my last
put down the generation coming up because I've been doing 4-H judging, which was a new thing. And I had an article published in My View about a month or so ago on that very thing. I come home from judging these kids who range in age from 6 to 18. My husband would tell you I kind of dance in the door because they're so incredible. I have great faith in the future. Don't be an old and say that this generation doesn't want to work this. I heard all that. My father used to say that about my generation. You know, I'm not going to do that.
What I've learned over the years, anyways, is the older generation doesn't know how to communicate with the Gen Zers.
That's right.
And it's just talking.
That's right.
Share stories.
People are people. Yeah.
But a lot of my friends, they don't want anything to do with the younger.
I know that.
I said, you know what?
You're a dinosaur.
You're gonna die in 6 months because you lack
I know.
respect for the younger.
I know, respect for each other, period.
It's amazing.
When, even if people don't agree with you, you have to respect. I mean, I'm not going to get into politics because it's not appropriate.
Not a good idea.
But I will say that I have met people most certainly who don't agree with my opinions. And we have decided to sit down and have a conversation. And I think that's what this whole bit is about.
Yep.
So I want to thank you all.
Thank you.
You've been one of the most delightful. I hope I'm enjoying my lecture. I got my
The question, yes.
Anyone the name?
Well, now I gotta go do one of my other hobbies. I shop estate sales.
That's an ad. I got
It's a real good one.
Fig tree, a lemon tree. No, I didn't. A catfish all the time.
Isn't that wonderful? I have friends, my good friend died in February.
Oh,
And
I didn't sign up for it.
had an orange tree.
Oh, yeah, sure.